People were lining up in front of the Nintouan city gate. The early morning dew still clung to their shoulders, most of them farmers from the outskirts, carrying their produce for the morning market. There were also plenty of horse-drawn carts laden with expensive silk fabrics. Suddenly, a few voices spoke up, neither too loud nor too soft. A middle-aged woman, with a round, petite figure, wearing a faded brown, the traditional Vietnamese dress, and a scarf on her head, carried a basket full of various vegetables on her head. Clicking her tongue, she said, "It was the third watch of the night. I don't know what happened, but Lord Nguyen Dai Han's entire Phu, official residence, was escorted to prison. This morning, the city gate requires declarations before entering." She sighed, sounding very tired. Another woman beside her interjected. "This morning, Hoa's son, Arin He, came home. He said Lord Nguyen Dai Han's whole family was arrested. Not a single person escaped. Even Lady Nguyen Dai Enon, who is heavily pregnant, was shackled and taken away." She lowered the basket from her head to the ground, sighing, "What a disaster falling from the sky. I hope he is a noble person blessed by heaven." She used the hem of her Oro dress to wipe away tears. The other woman also sighed deeply. Inside the city, people bustled about, and shops were crowded with constant coming and going. But everywhere, the talk was of Lord Nguyen Dai Enon. No one was not heartbroken. Men looked gloomy. Women and elderly ladies continuously wiped away tears with their Oro hems. To the east of the city, in front of a manor, a young woman dressed in white silk, with neatly tied hair and a headscarf, was kneeling and prostrating herself towards the manor. Two guards seemed not to notice, their faces expressionless, leaving her to continue her prostrations. All the common people passing by knew she was the daughter of Lord Nguyen Dai Enon. She had been married to Tran Ngoc, a poor scholar from the southern outskirts. Since her marriage, she had always stayed with her husband's family, diligently handling all matters, big and small, so that her husband could focus on his studies and exams. A year ago, Tran Ngoc passed the Hong Kong provincial examination, and had set off for the capital to take the Hoi metropolitan examination. She alone bore all the burdens, caring for her elderly mother-in-law who was paralyzed and unable to walk. No one had ever seen her return to her maternal home to complain or ask for help. It was no exaggeration to call her a lotus flower in the mundane world, even if stained with mud. It could not conceal the nobility of a young lady raised by an official whom the people regarded as their parent. Now, she continuously kowtowed, constantly pleading for the master of that manor to meet her once. Those who were discerning would know why she did so, but many also wondered, who was in that manor that could make her kowtow until her head bled. Yet she still wouldn't stop. "Nuet Tin He, my child, let this old woman pray with you. May the noble person meet us once." The speaker was her mother-in-law. She was carried on a young man's back, slowly approaching where the young woman knelt. The young woman turned her head. Her face was covered only in blood and tears, continuously dripping from her chin onto the tiled floor. She sobbed intermittently, "Mother, please, mother, please don't do this. Your body is so weak. How can you bear this torment? If anything happens to you, how can I live? And Enoch, what will become of him? I beg you, mother, please don't torment yourself for me." She choked back sobs, tears falling like rain. Those who passed by couldn't help but feel a pang of sorrow at the sight of the devoted mother and daughter. They all tried to console the old woman. She pushed away the hand of someone who intended to help her up, shouting loudly, "I am a cripple, but you must remember, you are my daughter-in-law. Where did you get the insolence to tell me what to do? Besides, I am kneeling here, not for you. I am kneeling here to beg for a way to save Lord Nguyen Dai Han's family. Ask the people here, who hasn't received his care? Little for the small things, much for the big." Having said that, she turned to look at the bystanders, pointing and shouting loudly, "Are you perhaps inferior to a crippled old woman like me, to stand by and watch him go to his death without once opening your mouth to plead for a way out for him? finishing her words, she slammed her forehead hard onto the cold tiled floor, her mouth continuously uttering, "May the heavens investigate. Lord Nguyen Dai Enon is innocent. May the heavens investigate. Lord Nguyen Dai Enon is innocent." The first, the second, the third, more and more voices resonated in unison, blending with the sound of repeated kowtows. "May the heavens investigate. Lord Nguyen Dai Enon is innocent. May the heavens investigate. Lord Nguyen Dai Enon is innocent." The manor, once as bustling as other areas in the city, now saw few passers-by even on ordinary days. Most of the houses surrounding the manor were sparsely inhabited, and it was not difficult to understand why. Each house had only one strong, handsome man who rarely interacted, even with neighboring households. This made the eastern part of the city quiet, deserted, and rarely visited. Yet now, the road leading to the manor echoed with pleas, intertwined with the sound of kowtows filled with sorrow. An incredible scene, old people, children, and men, all kowtowing towards the manor, pleading for a way out for the Governor General, Lord Nguyen. The sun was directly overhead, blazing hot, as if scorching the skin. The intense heat in the air made the scene even more desolate. Among the kneeling people, some elderly individuals couldn't bear the heat and collapsed onto the ground one after another. Each time, cries of sorrow erupted, adding to the commotion. Young men volunteered to carry the fainted to the herbalist, then returned without delay, resuming their prostrations as if they had never left. The old woman, Min Nguet's mother-in-law, could no longer hold on. Her body slumped against Min Nguet's slender back, her sweat soaking the back of Min Nguet's oro. The young man who had carried her there, a Min, rushed to support her. Min Nguet, her eyes red-rimmed, staggered to her feet, her body uncontrollably swayed forward. Fortunately, someone quickly caught her, helping her stand firm. She took gentle steps, fearing the old woman would wake up, her voice soft and gentle, as if pleading, "Amin, take my mother to the herbalist for treatment. I'll be there in a moment." Amin nodded, his voice choked. "Sister, remember to come right away. If you don't come, I'll come back and continue kneeling with you." Amin's eyes were red and teary. She patted his head, gesturing for him to go quickly. As Amin's figure gradually faded, disappearing behind the turn, she resumed her kowtowing. 2 hours passed, and the crowd had thinned by more than half. Those who remained were mostly robust young men. Only she remained, a solitary woman in the quiet afternoon light. The sun's intensity had lessened, but a fire seemed to burn within her. Suddenly, the heavy sound of the manor gate opening echoed. A maid stepped out, softly calling, "Miss Min Nguet, please enter the manor." Her voice was gentle yet ethereal, rarely heard in the countryside. Min Nguet quickly took a handkerchief from her oro pocket, wiped away the bloodstains on her cheek, and lightly covered the still bleeding wound with her bangs. She followed the maid, neither fast nor slow. On a sandalwood chair, a lady sat with a straight back. She wore a blue laywoman's robe, her hair tied in a high bun, adorned with an intricately carved golden hairpin and a small pearl. Her eyes were sharp, half closed, her hand caressed a string of prayer beads, her mouth chanting sutras. Hearing footsteps, she opened her eyes and smiled. "Nguet and he, you've grown into a truly beautiful and captivating woman. The dust of the mundane world cannot conceal your beauty." When her eyes fully opened, they carried an unconscious oppressive force, making the person facing her feel an urge to prostrate at her feet. Her exquisite face was no less beautiful than Min Nguet's in her youth. Min Nguet prostrated herself, her hands clasped on the polished tiled floor, her face pressed against it. Her lips trembled slightly as if before her was not a beautiful woman, but a beast ready to devour her at any moment. "Lift your head, let this consort gaze upon you a little longer. After all, it's been a long time since we last met." The lady stopped her prayer beads, placed them back on the jade plate at the foot of the Bodhisattva statue, then took small steps towards where Min Nguet knelt. "You really are. Don't you want to see this consort that much?" Min Nguet, trembling, replied, This common woman dares not. Please, your ladyship, forgive me. The lady snorted coldly, her eyes narrowing, as if a fleeting hint of murderous intent had passed through her pupils. You are truly obedient, not daring to look at me. Yet you dared to disturb me from early dawn. Before the rooster crowed, your voice was already echoing everywhere. With that, the lady strongly squeezed Min Nuet's cheek, forcing her to look up. The lady's exquisite eyes marveled with admiration. Beautiful, truly beautiful. Your eyes are even more beautiful than mine. She curled her lips into a slight smile and then released her hand. Instantly, a maid rushed forward, wiping dust from the lady's hand with a cloth, as if she had just touched something unclean. Nuet in he, tell me, how did your father raise you? To offend superiors, to beat drums and gongs, causing a commotion throughout the entire area. Now, in this Nintuan city, tell me, what face do I have left to live? Her hand gently pushed aside the lid of the jade teacup twice, then slowly lifted it to her lips. Her voice, though soft, each word was like a drop of water falling onto a rock. Cold and sharp. Tell me, how do you want me to deal with you? Suddenly enraged, she threw the jade cup directly at Min Nuet. The teacup flew past, hit Min Nuet's shoulder, and shattered on the tiled floor. Her shout was like thunder. Speak. Min Nuet remained prostrate, not moving an inch. Her shoulder trembled, her voice weak and choked. Please, your ladyship, calm your anger. This humble servant was momentarily confused and has disturbed your ladyship. Please. Your ladyship, punish me, but please remember the old affection. Please save my father and mother's lives. As for me, I volunteer to die in their place. The lady slightly raised her willow-like eyebrows, then burst into tinkling laughter. Die in their place, your one life, exchanged for 3 lives of your family. You truly know how to calculate. With that, she flicked her sleeve. Immediately, all the servants withdrew, and the room door closed heavily. The room fell into an unsettling silence. She gracefully walked to the corner of the room, the rhythmic tapping of her wooden clogs echoing like hammers against one's heart. From behind the curtain, she took out a lacquered wooden box, and slowly, step by step, returned to where Min Nuet was kneeling. She opened the lid of the box. Inside was a half-eaten rice cake, which had hardened like stone, for who knows how long. Min Nuet looked at the item in the box. Her eyes filled with terror. Her lips trembled, and tears flowed incessantly.